Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Fourth Wall. This is a very special evening. What do we have tonight?
I don't know. Who are you?
Oh, I'm Tobin-Lehl, co-artistic director of Fourth Wall Theater Company. Who are you?
I'm 𝗕𝗲𝗄𝗂, co-artistic director of Fourth Wall Theater Company. Welcome, everybody. Yes, it's a very special night because we are going to announce our 11th season tonight.
That's right. We certainly are.
By one. We're going to make you stick around all night long to know what all 4 plays are.
That's right. So we're going to have some special guests. A couple people are going to join us in regards to some of the shows, and we're going to give you some nice little nitty-gritty details about each show, some special insider pieces of information that other people might not know. So you're going to be the first to find out, and we're really excited to get started. So our first guest tonight.
No.
Oh.
No.
Uh-oh.
Sorry. We have a couple of things to do first.
We do.
First, we're really, we think we're going to do this whole season starting in October and November because of the success of the vaccines.
Mm-hmm.
And there are still some questions, obviously, but we're really optimistic about it. And we want to start by thanking you, our patrons, our donors, our supporters, people who watch this Beyond the Fourth Wall stuff. You've kept Fourth Wall Theater alive, right?
That's absolutely right. And if we hadn't had so many generous people continue to, support us by making donations, by watching all of the programming we did have out there, and buy tickets to certain things that were online, I don't know if we would have made it through this time. And more importantly, just love us and send us beautiful messages and tell us how happy they were that we were continuing and that we kept putting stuff out there. That meant more to us than anything, and made Philip and I feel very, very proud and excited about continuing on and knowing that we would have a real season in the future. And it does look really promising. We do know that New York is opening up and selling tickets, and they had their first day with no deaths, which is really, really exciting. It's been a really traumatic time for people. I know there's so many people who've lost people, and our hearts go out to all of you who've suffered illnesses or losses. So we hope that when we get storytelling back on stage, people can start to come back together and be a community again.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We're excited.
So this is our 11th season as Fourth Wall / Stark Naked Theater. And gosh, I think last year would have been a huge celebration of our 10th year.
Yeah.
But now we're just 11.
We're 11, but that's okay.
But that's great.
We made it through our 10th year, very positive. Like we said, happy, lots of support, lots of love. So we couldn't have asked for anything more. So we're very excited to go into season 11 with some exciting shows.
So yes, I think it's time to introduce our first guest like you wanted to do.
Okay,
right?
Go right ahead.
Okay, our first guest is Alanna Dorsett.
We just went over that.
Hey.
Alanna is the director for our first production, which is, why don't you tell us what that is, Alanna?
A Doll's House Part 2 by Lucas Ney. Did I get that right?
That's correct. Yay! Yes, everybody. So for those of you who don't know much about the play, Doll's House Part 2 is a 8-time Tony nominated play. Won some Tonys, won Best Supporting Actress. Did Laurie Metcalf win as well? Or was it just the woman who played Anne Marie? I'm not sure, but a lot of Tony nominations. It was a huge success. Best play. Huge success on Broadway. I got to see it, which was a really, really wonderful. And so we're just really excited that we got the rights to this play. We got them, I think it was on our list last year, so some of you might have heard this title. But now we're actually going to get to put it up.
So Alanna, is this a sequel to Ibsen's play, A Doll's House?
Well, in one way it is. It's 15 years later from the original production, but also I think we've talked about this a lot, that it's very much a standalone piece. So I think it is really bringing the story from like the 1890s into present day and showing in some ways how we've progressed, but in some ways maybe we haven't progressed as much as we would have hoped we had at this point. So I think it's like very, very timely right now, especially if you look at things like with what's going on right now with like the heartbeat bill and trying to like in Texas, that I just think there's like a lot of themes that are just as current today as the original would have been in 1890.
Absolutely. Let's go from the sublime to the ridiculous. How excited are you to be working with the 2 leading actors in this play?
I am so, well, which, like both of you, or are we talking about like all the ladies here, Philip?
Fair point.
I am very excited to be working with both of you, getting to know you over the past couple of years. I'm so excited to get to work with you both simultaneously. And I think this is going to be like a really cool challenge with working with a real married couple and seeing how that might play out in a couple that was once married. But also I'm really excited too, just because I think all of the actors we have in this are really strong. So to have such a incredibly strong female cast is very exciting.
Yeah, we should. Why don't
Well,
you?
why don't we introduce the cast?
Let's
Sorry.
do that. Yeah,
We,
and people don't know what we're talking about.
well,
I realized.
Yeah.
Oh look, it's me and you, Kim,
Uh-huh.
and we're playing 𝗕𝗲𝗆 and
Nora.
who are these other ladies?
Who are these lovely other women that we, Alanna and I had an audition for this show a little less than a month ago to get it cast ahead of time so that the actors could all have their scripts over the summer. We could get the designers together and give everybody time with the script because we do go into rehearsal in early September. So who are the two lovely, beautiful women? Some of them might be recognizable to our audience members who are playing the other two roles.
Oh, we have Sally and then we have Raven.
That's right. Now, many people know Sally Edmundson, the incomparable Sally Edmundson, who works over at Stages on a regular basis. She's just a lovely, beautiful human being who's a tremendous actress. And I'm so excited that we're going to get to have her at our theater. She is playing Anne-Marie, who is the housekeeper for 𝗕𝗲𝗆, and she raised Nora as well. So she's raising Nora's children while Nora has left from Doll's House 1. And now is a part of the transitional team of bringing Nora back into the home. So she's playing this beautiful, fun role in this play.
Why are you laughing? Because my dear old friend Holly Clark wrote in the comments, and we missed it, that 11 was what Spinal Tap thought was great. Says in reference to our 11th year. We're turning it up to 11 this year.
That's
thanks
right.
to Holly Clark.
Thank you, Holly Clark,
Hi,
for
Holly.
telling us how great 11 is. That's right.
All right.
Oh, that's great.
So we were talking about Sally Edmundson, who
Right.
I got to work with early in my career in Houston at Stages in a play by my brain. It's called Amy's View, and it's by David Hare.
Yes, which I also saw on Broadway. Thank you, fantastic, and saw them.
And then Sally directed me at Stages in play, whom I this time a couple of years ago at Stages as well. So we're really excited to get her to come over to Fort.
It's going to be
and
great.
Now we need to talk about Raven Justine Troup.
Raven, how was she wonderful, Alanna, or what?
She was amazing. She just like blew me out of the water. It was one of those moments where you're like, this is it. And I think there's times where like this can make do with casting, where I feel like this is so special, where everyone is really, really perfect for the role. So
she was perfect. Yeah. There's I don't know how you feel, Alanna, but I feel like the role of Emmy, which is Nora's daughter, Nora's grown daughter now that Nora was so young when Nora left, they don't really remember each other. Well, Nora remembers her, but they were too young to have a real relationship. Emmy was too young. And I think what's interesting about Emmy is Emmy's kind of the, I don't want to give away anything she talks about, but it feels like she's almost like a gateway to the past and the future. She's this transitional character that makes you feel like she could be the future, but she also so links you to the past and tries to marry the two conversations. And I think it's a really interesting role that's very powerful, but it's difficult. And so when she came in and did so well, I think it's the most difficult role in the play. And I was just moved and so happy she got excited to play it. And I'm thrilled that we have such a really stellar cast, and I can't wait for people to see it.
So Kim saw this play on Broadway in a 1,000-seat theater or whatever. And obviously our production will be different. What do you have in your mind about that, Alanna, if anything? Or you can talk about something else.
I think it's like really cool because one thing that's like so special about your space is that like it really brings the audience into the space and it makes it an incredibly personal experience. And I think that's really actually going to help with this play, that I think it's like the audience is going to not only get to watch this, but they're going to get to be part of the conversation. So I hope they're going to leave the theater and that's going to spark them debating the issues that are presented in this play in their own lives. And I don't know if you always get that depth of emotional experience in a bigger space. I think sometimes that gets lost with the distance.
I think that's a good point. I hope we like that about our space too. I do want to mention to people, please feel free to ask any questions you want about the play or about us, our relationship, anything you'd like in the chat. We do feel like, because it's a season announced, we want to make sure that we're interactive with you all and that you have a chance to ask questions. We should mention too,
our design team is set for this. We have Brian McGettigan doing the sets. We have Christina Gianelli doing lighting. We have Sharia Costa doing costumes.
𝗕𝗲𝗄𝗃
doing sound.
And there's
There's no
that's it,
props.
because
There's
it's very
very
light, so
few.
the costume and set are going to pick that up.
Script calls for no props. So that's our design team, a group that we've worked with all of those people before, and they're just wonderful. And we had a production meeting just the other day, which was fun,
Yeah,
right?
it's getting off the ground. It's
It
getting
was
exciting.
I think especially after like being through like the, almost like a year of this pandemic and not knowing when things were going to open up again, to get to have that meeting with people was like such a special experience.
Yeah.
I mean, just the fantasy of being in a room working on a play with people has got me so excited.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
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 I don't want to thank COVID for that, but
Right. No.
You get into a grind, and then to be away from it for a year and a half and then go back, I feel totally renewed. I don't know if you guys feel that way.
Yeah, I appreciate the experience.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong with looking back over a year of a lot of hard times and a lot of, loss, and still being able to reflect and say, what am I grateful for and what am I looking forward to, and what did I miss and how much more am I going to cherish the things that were important to me or that maybe I took for granted. And for me, being able to act or direct, and have that as a part of my life is important, and not having it for a year, other than some small video type projects. I don't want to take that for granted when I'm in a room, and I want to be kinder and more generous when I can with the collaborative ensemble of people I work with. So I think there are good things too when you have to sit down and reflect because things stop.
Absolutely. And I think sometimes, especially in the arts, there's this hustle and go, 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 and to always constantly be busy. So to have a little bit of breath to actually work on personal development instead of, just being focused outwardly on people was also kind of a gift in a weird way.
Yeah.
I think might actually like help, like at least where I am in my life, like me grow as an artist.
I think so too. I think that's great. I'm excited for us to all be together. And
I'm really excited.
I think I'm really grateful that you came into our life. And I know we briefly spoke about this, but you assistant directed on a number of shows with us. And
what were those?
Yeah, tell everybody what those were.
I worked on Realistic Joneses, and then also on Between Riverside and Crazy. So, and before that, I was also kind of shadowing a little bit on Rapture, Blister, Burn. So that's how I kind of like got to know Fourth Wall. And that was one of the things that I was in New York for a long time. And when I was trying to like come back to Houston and explore the theater scene, everyone was like, you have to go to Fourth Wall. And my cousin, especially too, she was like, it is so your aesthetic. So I've loved the opportunity to get to like learn and grow with both of you and with Fourth Wall, because I feel like it's so exciting to find a theater where your values and the type of theater you like to create like line up so much. So I'm very grateful for you guys for being so open and warm and welcoming, because trying to come from a different theater community has been like such a challenge. So I'm really grateful for the type of work you do and the type of collaboration you guys aspire to have with your theater company.
Oh, well,
I think we should mention your cousin Elise's full name.
Yes.
Oh, well, her stage name is 𝗕𝗲𝗄𝗃. So I guess.
All right, Elise. Well, that's lovely.
We like her a lot.
We love
too.
Elise.
Wonderful.
She's a good supporter and been a student with me for many years, and she's very talented.
Before we let Alanna go, we should mention that A Doll's House opens on October 14th. And it runs for 4 weeks. And so that's when you can look forward to that.
And there we go. There's
there
our
it
dates.
is.
There's our poster image.
And that guy's name, I swear, is pronounced Hnath.
Lucas Hnath.
Yeah.
We made sure we looked into that.
He's been represented on Houston stages at the Alley with a play called The Christians. But I believe that's the only other play of his that people have been able to see in Houston. He's had at least half a dozen plays produced in New York in sort of high profile productions. So we're fans of his work. We got to see a play of his called The Thin Place.
The Thin Place, which was wonderful.
Claris Horizons, just before COVID hit. And did we see another of his plays?
No, but I know of Hillary and Clinton, which is a lovely play. That's a great play too.
Which has a connection that we can talk about later, because Alice Gatling, the Houston actor, helped
originate
the first production of that play in Philadelphia. She played Hillary Clinton in that. So
and he did Red Speedo too, which I don't know if anybody here did Red Speedo in Houston anywhere, but
it hasn't been done yet.
Well, there you go.
Unless I'm really wrong.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll wrap that up. So we are happy to have had Alanna with us. Alanna's going to be directing this show. You'll be able to see it in October, and we're going to move on to title number 2 in a moment.
Anything on your mind before we go?
Any burning desire?
I'm really excited, and thank you guys for having me on. It's been a blast, and I'm really looking forward to this season.
All right. Well, we'll let you drop off, and we'll move on to the next title. Thanks, Alanna.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, everybody. So, Philip, you want to introduce title number 2?
I think we want to introduce the director of title number 2.
Okay.
And it's pretty easy because she's sitting to my left. 𝗕𝗲𝗶𝘀, the co-artistic director of Fourth.
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
And yeah, I'll say the title. It is a play called The Lifespan of a Fact. It is based on a book by 2 men, Jim Fingal and John 𝗕𝗲𝗏. And the play was adapted by 3 gentlemen whose names I'm going to have to look up.
Yeah, they'll be on the video, the picture.
Catherine
there we go.
To the rescue. So, you know, Jeremy Kareken, I'd say, David Murrell, and Gordon Farrell. It's probably Jeremy Kareken, David Murrell, and Gordon
We're probably getting them wrong.
Farrell. But anyway, those 3 guys adapted this wild book by these other 2 fellows. And so we're going to do that play.
Oh, Eric Bradley, we love you. Oh, we miss you. We can't wait to see you back in the theater. I'm so glad you love the play.
Hello to Anderson.
Hello, Anderson.
Thank you guys for
I'm so glad you're here.
So yeah, this play was premiered on Broadway, you know, back right before the pandemic.
Right before COVID, yes.
Kim, let you talk about it because you saw it.
Well, yes, I did. I did see it, and I enjoyed it very, very much. I thought it was a really exciting play, particularly in the middle of, at that time, and still in today, in the midst of a time where liberties in the media with truth and lies is very prevalent in our society, and in Facebook with all the, you know, infiltration of false news and how that is affecting our society. It's affecting journalism. It's affecting media in so many different ways. And where do people fall on the line of what it means to be truthful and fact check something, and what it means to be like an essayist and take liberties with, you know, real life stories, and how you imbue those with dramatic action and dramatic effect to make something an essay. And so where do we decide something's healthy and unhealthy in terms of how we take those liberties and what we do? And has that been, and how that was done with, you know, magazines and journalism? Was any of that the catalyst to fake news, the catalyst to how we lie and how we accept certain kinds of lying? I think this play kind of experiments with that and plays with those ideals. And I just think it's really fascinating discussion. And it's also about the life and death of how a magazine can survive with or without great storytelling and great journalism.
And maybe we should just tell people that just the basic idea of the play is that an essay has been submitted to a
magazine,
and the editor of the magazine, a woman, assigns it to a young guy to fact check.
Right.
And she thinks it'll take him a day or a weekend.
Right.
Well, he takes the job seriously, and he
it
gets
becomes
into
quite an
serious
ordeal.
Conflict with the writer. And those are the 3 characters: the writer of the essay, the editor of the magazine,
and the fact checker,
and the young fact checker.
Yeah.
So,
and it's great. It's heart-wrenching, it's dramatic, it's hysterical, it's got all of that, and it's a very nice, quick, you know, and you know, if you know my directing, you know I like those quick-paced, move-along shows, and it's a nice, quick, you know, paced, fun show, and I just thought it'd be a neat thing for us to have on our schedule.
On Broadway, the 3 characters were played by big stars. Cherry Jones played the editor.
Bobby
Cannavale played the writer of the essay, and forever connected to Harry Potter, played Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe.
A lot of good work since Harry Potter, played the other role. And we at Fourth Wall have enlisted 2 of Houston's biggest stars, in my opinion.
To cast
the
2 of the roles.
And the writer. Who are those people?
Yes, well, we've cast Alice Gatling to play our magazine editor.
We've heard that name before tonight.
We were just saying she originated the role of Hillary in Hillary and Clinton for Lucas Hnath. So we have Alice over here in Lifespan of Fact, which I'm just thrilled. I've directed Alice before in Best of Enemies, over at 80 Players, and Alice is she's a powerhouse actor. Oh, if you haven't seen Alice, you have to come see Alice. And then also, she's just a wonderful director in her own right. So I love working with Alice. She's brilliant, wonderful person to work
I got
with.
to be directed by her at 80 Players several seasons ago in a play called The God Committee, and she was just so great, loving, in control, great collaborator. So
yeah, she's super smart.
We're again really lucky to have her
Yes.
first time on our fourth
perfect
wall
role
stage.
for her. Perfect role for her.
And who's that other guy?
And the other guy for our 𝗕𝗲𝗶𝗱𝗲 role, that's the essayist who's really funny, smart, good role that is perfect for him. And another fourth wall favorite actor is Drake Simpson. So we have Drake Simpson coming back this year. We're very excited to have him. I love working with Drake. Drake's one of my dear friends.
On our last Beyond the Fourth Wall, if you watched it, he actually
he did leak it.
Said that he was going to be
if you were on it, he leaked it by accident. We tried to cover it up and be real cool, but we're not very cool.
No, we didn't.
So we didn't really. I thought I tried, but I'm so not cool. I tried.
We were dorks.
Well, that's all right.
But yeah, Drake.
So we have those two,
who has been in something like 6 or 7 fourth wall shows.
Yeah, and the third role is still up in arms, so we're not sure about that yet. So we're still working on that one, and but it'll all come together, and I'm sure it's going to be another stellar, amazing cast. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah, and I think I mean, there's still some more to talk about with this show. Do you want to talk a little bit about what the essay is about, or would you like to talk about what the design is like, or what do you want to do?
Well, I think I don't know. What do you think, Philip? Why don't you ask me a question?
Well, I
don't know.
You punted it right back to me.
Oh, I
think
did.
You should tell us what the just the basic story of the
essay. I don't want to get too because we don't want to give away a lot.
Essay, because I think it's important that because it anchors this play.
Well, the essay is about a teenager who commits suicide in Las Vegas,
where he lives.
And so the essayist writes this really what the Alice Gatling character thinks, the person who runs the magazine editor, what she thinks is a really profound, moving, amazing, one of the best stories she's ever read about, this kind of, horrible, tragic event that will save her magazine. The magazine's in trouble. So she thinks this is one of the best essays she's ever read on this kind of tragic event. So she's really keen on getting it in this issue of the magazine. So there's a time deadline. It's an important thing. She thinks it's wonderful. And then you got your serious fact checker.
Yeah. The essay, by the way, I've read it, is marvelous. It finally got to print, I think 7 years after it was first submitted to the magazine.
I didn't even know that.
I'm talking about the real story.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that long to get it.
It took
printed
forever. And the book, Lifespan of a Fact, is this fascinating thing. It's got the essay printed in the middle of the page, and then all around it are these emails between the editor, the three characters who are in the play, and they hate each other. It's it's amazing that they came together to actually put a book out.
Yeah.
And I hope they made some money off of it.
I do too. There's a lot of work, obviously.
If you look at the book, there's this photo of the two of them, and they actually got in the same room together.
I know, right?
It's just, God, they hate each other so much. It's so funny.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I think you'll like it. But yeah, and when I was at the Broadway production, people were just loving it. They had a great time. It just felt like it hit all the right buttons, and it was a big success.
I didn't see the Broadway production, but again, a play that started out in a 1,000-seat theater,
small,
coming into a 99-seat theater where it can be so much more intimate. And I think that's one thing that that we both love to do.
Yeah, we do. We like that idea of taking something that was in a big space that feels like it's a small cast, or it's a intimate kind of conversational piece, intimate relationship piece, and bringing down the size so that the audience is right in the conversation. That's one of the things with Realistic Joneses. that we were very keen on was both of us saw that on Broadway and felt like so much of it was lost on the audience because it was so, and not to say it wasn't a good show, but it was on a big stage and there's so many moments that are in glances and in looks, in silences. And if you're 25 rows back, as good as the dialogue is that, Will Eno writes some of the best dialogue there is, some of those tiny moments get lost. And in our space, you don't have that problem, which we just love that. So
I think that's true. That's why our tagline, that's why we chose our tagline. What is our tagline?
Extraordinary performances up close.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I think we owe a little shout out to two of our greatest supporters, Ken Bohan and Dino Kelly, who alerted us to this.
Yes, they did.
They saw it and said, "Oh, you guys
go see it.
This is perfect for Fourth Wall."
Yeah, and I think I saw it when I was there for a little bit of an extended period.
Yeah, because
he wasn't with me.
I didn't see it, so
I saw a group of plays at that time. I was out there.
Wolf.
Yeah, for a little stint. It was great. It was fun. Good. So I think if no one has questions, I don't see anything about that.
We have to give a shout out to our biggest Beyond the Fourth
Oh
Wall
yes,
supporter,
Veronica.
Hello, Veronica.
Hi, Veronica. Thanks for being with us.
us.
She's excited about the season, which is wonderful to hear.
I think we put the graphic up for Lifespan of Effect, but
we did.
I should mention
the
that
date.
It is January 13th opening.
Yep.
And it goes through February 5th.
Yep. So it's a mid-January opening for that one.
Yeah.
Then after that, should we go ahead and go on? We're going to discuss the second play. We
just did.
The third. Sorry, the third. We did.
I'm glad I'm here.
I'm glad you're here. I wouldn't be doing very well on my own right now. I don't know why.
What's our third play of the season and who's directing it?
Yes, our third play of the season, very exciting, is a play called Gloria by Brandon Jacobs-Jenkins, 2 S's, Jacobs-Jenkins, Brandon Jacobs-Jenkins. And this is a play that we had tried to get for a number of years, and we had a difficult time getting the rights.
When Kim says tried to get, what do you mean?
Well, getting a play, you have to apply for rights from the author, of course, and from a publishing house.
And his rights are handled by this
publishing house,
right?
And so the publishing house, of course, tries to make the best deal for the writers and for themselves. They try to get the big houses to do it, or, the Alley, Tuts, Stages. And as they try to figure out how to negotiate for a play before it's been seen anywhere else to get seen in the largest house, sometimes they sit on it for a little bit. And I understand that. But so sometimes it can be hard to get a play for a little while. And sometimes an author holds their play back for a little while. So we don't really know why. They don't tell us why. We just understand that sometimes when a play has not premiered in a city, it's being sat on, held back. They're waiting to release it. So we struggled with trying to get this play for a little while.
And we heard about this play. I'd actually read a review in the Times about it, but do you remember who told us about this play?
My friend Laurel Manning.
Yeah.
Laurel K. Manning, who has been a guest on Beyond the Fourth Wall early in the early when the show began.
He's a filmmaker, actor, director
in New York City. Yep.
Wonderful guy.
Yeah. And Laurel told us about it when we were out there on a trip and had lunch with him at one point. And we were talking about Octoroon to him. And we loved it, but it was big. And we were like, this place.
That's another play by.
It's another play by Brandon Jacobs-Jenkins that won a lot of awards. And this was a Pulitzer Prize finalist, Gloria. So it's not by any means, not a great play too. But he told us about it. We read it and we were like, oh my God, we have to do this play. And so we started working on getting it. And finally,
couldn't get it. And what were we doing when we cracked this nut?
Here is a very interesting way that things happen.
Amazing.
Relationships are very important in the arts. And we were at Juilliard meeting with Richard Feldman, who's the head of the program there.
He's not. He's the associate director of the program.
Your friend Elizabeth?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
We were meeting with Richard.
And Richard was taking us to his office. And as we were going in, he stopped and said, here is, what's he in charge of? He's in charge of the playwriting program. So here's Adam Simkowitz, who's in charge of the playwriting program. I went, Adam Simkowitz? Oh my God. And I have had a relationship with Adam Simkowitz by email and online forever. We did a reading of one of his plays with Jennifer Decker at Mildred's Umbrella many years ago, maybe when we first started. And so Adam, for many years, interviewed all the playwrights in the country on a blog he did. And when he hit 1,000 playwrights, he stopped. And what happened was he ended up going over to Juilliard and running that playwriting program. Well, of course he did. He knows every single playwright in the whole country. So we walked in the office and we were talking to him, and we knew that Brandon Jacobs-Jenkins had been in the playwriting program at Juilliard the year before, and he had just left, and now he's at UT. So blah, 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 blah. And I said, hey, do you know Brandon Jacobs-Jenkins? I said, we can't get his play. He goes, I'll send him an email.
Trying to get Gloria.
Send him an email. I had it the next day.
He had the rights the next day.
And that's how amazing the world of relationships are. So so that's how that happened. And that was right before COVID. We had it on the season. I think we had it on the 10th season. And so we had to put it on the shelf, but we knew we were going to cling to that one and do it as soon as we possibly could. So that was a long story, but our director for that show, very, 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 very exciting.
We will be joined by James Black, who I've known ever since pretty much I got to Houston. I've worked with James as a colleague actor at the Alley. I've been directed by him several times at the Alley, which those were always the best experiences at the Alley. Well, the best experiences, period, and at the Alley. And James is a marvelous director and a great guy. And he's directing a lot around town next season because he's not, he left his position, his official position at the Alley. He's directing at the Alley still, but we're just delighted that he's going to join us. He couldn't be here tonight because he's directing something for 80 players, right?
I think it's a video thing for them, or it might be something else, but he's very busy and working, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So we wanted to cover his show for him. This show is
this show we got to be careful with because there's like spoiler alert.
He's warning me is what he's doing.
And we're not going to spoil anything because it's
too good.
We just tell you that when you come to see this show, you'll come in, you'll think you'll know what it's about, and
you'll be wrong.
You'll be wrong, and then you'll be wrong again and wrong again. And that's how Brandon Jacobs-Jenkins writes, if you ask me.
Yeah.
He's really interesting, and he's a MacArthur Genius
Grant winner, and all his plays are just totally different. It's like you wouldn't know it was the same playwright. He writes so amazingly.
Yeah.
You read a play and then you read another one of his plays and you're like, I can't believe that's the same playwright. He's just a really talented man. And I will say that the play is about a group of young journalists, or are they journalists? They want to be journalists.
Yeah, it actually has something in common with Lifespan of Effect because it takes place at a
publishing house in
New York.
And they're very it's in New York City, so they're very they're all very competitive climbers. And so it's about what happens in a very competitive cutthroat journalistic environment.
Yeah, some of them are interns, some of them are young employees.
Yeah, but
it takes place in the part of the office that is, the play begins in the part of the office that is sort of where the lower rung employees.
The young ones are trying to scratch their way out to the top and figure out how to get their way in to be the next big story writer. They want to write the stories instead of be the little editors.
The Ivy League intern. Anyway.
Yeah, it's really fun, and we can't say much because
much more about it.
But it's a mostly cast. It's a cast mostly. Talk much, Kim? Nah.
Not for a living or anything.
Not for a living. Of people under 30. Most of the cast is under 30. They're young. You have I think one or two characters in their 30s. So it's a nice, young, hot, exciting cast of people. It should be a really fun show.
Yeah. And James will be be casting that. And do we have some designers we can share with people?
Yes, he's going to be working with our dear friend and Tony nominated lovely Houston designer Kevin Rigdon doing set and lights. Paige Wilson will do costumes. And that's all we have confirmed right now there. We're still working on locking down that team, but very exciting group of people.
We have a props person, don't we?
We do.
I thought it was
Oh, yes. And we're going to be joined by 𝗕𝗲𝗄𝗃 from the Alley, also for props, which is so exciting. She's, if you guys don't know the prop work that Karen does, you've seen it at the Alley, I'm sure, but she's just unbelievable. So
And a wonderful person.
and she's huge.
Again, and a first-time fourth
Yes.
wall designer. So we're delighted
Yes.
to have her.
think
I have to read it from the chat.
Oh.
You can see it, but I'm going to read it. It's from my old friend Holly too. This Dork Fest is terrific. I hope you consider doing it before each season. Absolutely. Why not? Learning about both the creative and business side is fascinating. If I weren't in Massachusetts, I'd be buying the season.
That's so sweet.
If you're not in Massachusetts, you should
Buy
be
it.
buying the season. Are those tickets on sale, Kim? Do you happen to know?
I do not.
Catherine,
Catherine, are we on sale yet?
And if not, do you know
when they will be? Not quite yet.
Not
Okay.
quite yet, which means soon you'll be able to go to our website and purchase season passes.
subscriptions.
Those are late this year because of COVID and because we still, there's still some questions about how we're going to be having to space the audience, if at all, vaccination, all that stuff will be coming to you.
I'm going with
soon.
no spacing.
I'm going with no spacing and no masks, but
and
you have to be
vaccinated. I'm
know.
hoping.
And you'll
I
be
know
on
it's
the-
hard to say that, but we don't
What are you
know.
gonna
What are we
do?
talking about? We don't even know yet. But I'm going with no spacing. I'm working on it, man. It's my prayers are out there.
We could have
Yeah.
you could have Amanda. I tried to pick up our dog. Never mind. Stupid.
Whatever. I
and-
live with this.
And Catherine was good enough to put up our website, and you can go check it out. And we'll have all this information up soon.
Yeah.
The dates of Gloria are. It opens, or the preview is Thursday, March 24th, and it goes through mid-April. So.
Yeah. And I do think that if you buy your season subscription, it'll be, when they go up, they'll go up pretty soon. You probably will have to wait a little while before you pick your seats. That's something we're kind of holding off a little bit on, to wait for spacing, make sure we're clear. Make sure we're good and clear to all be in the room. Seeing as how I'm watching the Astros games, I'm assuming we're going to be okay. All right.
Well, yeah. We are a bit at the mercy of one union called Actors Equity, and
of course
they haven't really said what's going to be happening yet. So we have some questions.
Yeah, well, Broadway looks full, so I'm not that worried.
True.
Okay. So what else can we talk about? We're waiting on our last guest, who should be here very shortly, but we have time for, does anybody have a question? Anybody want to ask anything? For our first 3 shows. So we have Doll's House 2 by Lucas Hnath. We have The Lifespan of a Fact by 3 people. We have, I'm not going to say them all. And then I'm directing them, I'm not going to say them all.
By Jim Fingal and John Delgado.
Okay, well, you can do that, right, based on the book. Okay. And you have Gloria by Brandon Jacobs-Jenkins. All right. So pretty exciting right there. And then our final show of the season, we're not going to tell you yet. Can we tell you? Oh, he is here. Okay. So we are able to bring on our last guest, our final show of the season, which we're really, really excited about. Some of you may have already seen this show time ago now, is we are going to remount our early closure of our season closer in 2019-20. But did that make sense?
When are you gonna say it?
Between Riverside and Crazy by Stephen Adly Gurgis. There it is. So we have been able to, at this point in time, confirm our original cast. Everyone will return. I will remount Bill's direction. Bill Pruitt, our wonderful director, Bill Pruitt. He is here. I think we're gonna have him join us. There he is. Oh, he's traveling. Bill.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, we can see you.
Are you driving?
Okay, just pulling into Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh.
Here it is, where it's a balmy 102 degrees, down from 116 over the California border. I'm with Monica, my girlfriend, and a couple of dogs, Waylon and Cooper in the back. They say hi. I put these headphones in. Sorry.
Oh, gotcha.
Anyway, good to see you guys, and this has been joyful. Congratulations on season 11. Most theater companies just go to 10. You guys get us to 11, and that's just fantastic. I love that. And I'm so excited to see this play come back. My goodness, if there's ever a metaphorical leap one can take out of a pandemic, it's between Riverside and Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, Stephen Adley Burgess did in conveying a calcified, lonely soul locked inside an apartment way too long, way past their prime. This is it. So
Right? Excellent. That's true.
Man, it's really good to see you.
Yeah.
It's really neat that you're here tonight. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, we're really
I was going to try and hit a rest stop. We're almost to Vegas. We'll make it there, but we're trying to get up to Utah to see my siblings. There's a big family thing, and so we're just hauling ass to get there.
No, it's fine.
Oh, I
We're
love
just
it.
glad you could pop in. I think it's great that you're in your car. I think, all right,
Yeah.
taking out the time to jump in with us. It's awesome. Yeah.
The world we live in.
Technology.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, so we had you here down. You were a first-time fourth wall director, and how did that come about? Would you just tell people that?
Well, the play is called Between Riverside and Crazy, but the production should be called Between Spring Street and Crazy, because this rehearsal was just bonkers. Kim, I think in a kind of an out-of-body experience, called me up on Facebook and said, "Hey, we're putting our season together. Would you be interested in directing a play?" And the last play I directed was a Sam Shepard play called A Lie of the Mind. It was the 10th anniversary production. We had a lot of money. It was good. Went really well, but it was a lot of work. And I kind of walked away from theater at that time thinking, because I wanted to make films and TV. Gosh, I don't know that I could do that anymore. And so 25 years later, I get invited to come to Houston to stage this show. And if there's nothing more terrifying than that, I don't know. It was crazy because, I'd never worked in a thrust. So I'm directing the actors who are every one of them walking on a tightrope, high above, any form of sanity. These performances, these actors are so bold, all of you, just stepping outside of yourselves and into these characters fully. But I'm trying to stage this thing, working in a thrust for the first time, and we're right in the middle of rehearsal. We're getting the blocking down and doing some fine tweaking. And Kim goes, "Why are you doing that?" And I'd be like, right in the middle of everybody going, "Excuse me?" And she's not even in the scene. She's just the artistic director, dutifully watching rehearsal. She's going, "Why are you doing that?" And I'm like, "So they can see."
You think I could be
I
a
learned
little
so much
softer.
working with you guys.
And then I have to sit down with you and go, I don't really mean to be as mean as I sound sometimes. I just say it. Well, I love you.
No, you're thorough. You're thorough. You're good. And then Philip's backstage meditating, before every performance. He's getting into character, and he's so serene. And I'm like, "Dude, don't you know there's a pandemic coming? We may not even get out of the theater tonight. They may lock us in here," because we didn't know it was all lockdown. It was coming like a big dark cloud across the country. And we just got to where we opened, and we had an audience, previews, and then an opening weekend. And then blessedly, some really great notices. I think some really fine notices for the company and everybody involved.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of that experience and so grateful. So yeah, I think it's going to be exciting to see it all kind of come roaring back next year.
Yeah, we're really excited that we could get everybody back, and we put the set in storage, so we're ready to load everything back in, and Alanna and I have all your direction and everything, and Kaylin has it. We're all ready to go. We have all the same designers, so we put that show back up, and we'll be pushing it back out. So we're ready.
Yeah, we have a supporter.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
We have a supporter named Mark Sievers. So quick shout out to him. He has this warehouse somewhere, and I don't even know where it is.
Yeah.
And our set's there, just waiting.
It's there. Yeah, he lets people. He was
Such
letting
a beautiful
people store
set.
for free. Yeah, it was nice of him. Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan did an amazing job with that set, so it's great.
He's terrific.
It comes back.
Again, Ryan McGettigan.
Everyone. I mean, the lighting was remarkable. The sound design, the music choices. I think that the few people who got to see that really got to partake in something special. So
yeah,
it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the costumes by 𝗕𝗲𝗂𝗶𝗱𝗲 𝗚𝘂𝗶𝗱𝗲, who's joining us again, and
Yeah.
Christina Gianelli did the lights, and Ryan, and then Andrew Cloud was the prop designer. Who am I missing?
Was it Robert? Was Robert Meeks the sound? Is that right? Yeah.
Yep, and he chose some choice music cues to kind of go with it, and the reviewers loved what he did. And it's great. Everyone.
Yeah.
Great. Pamela, though, is their scene stopper with the church.
I know. She's so great.
Worked so hard with her.
Well, I always told everybody when we were casting the show, I remember like we had some people not want to do that role. And I was always like, if I could do any role in this play, that's the role I would play. I was like, that role steals the show. And I obviously can't do it because it requires an ethnicity, that is important. And, being a nice little blonde English girl. Well, I'm not so nice. Sometimes I'm nice. Okay, come on. And but yeah, I was like, no, that's the role right there. Yeah. And it sure was. She did great. She's excited to come back too, by the way. She can't wait. So yeah.
So we're just delighted. It was the weirdest thing to open a play.
By Mandalay Bay's reflective.
You can't even see, right? Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah.
We can see you and we can hear you fine.
Yeah.
To be in that play and kind of come out of, you get into a tunnel. I think we all get into kind of a tunnel of, we got to put this piece of art up, and then, you click on the New York Times and oh man, I think things are going kind of badly in the world. I hope we can, and then wow, just all of a sudden it became clear that we have to close this play.
I know, so scary.
After 4 performances, so.
It's it doesn't seem like as long ago as it was. I mean, it was a long time ago now. But I'm just glad that we did get a full weekend, that some people got to see it. We had a nice, good weekend for everybody to be able to at least, it's really sad when people put that much work in and they don't even get to do it at all.
Yeah, that happened to several people.
And a lot of people had that happen.
We were so afraid of that. Yeah, exactly. That would have been almost criminal.
That's how I felt. Yeah, I was like, there's no way we did all this and we're not at least going to have one weekend. And so luckily that we did get to stretch through that weekend. And realize how great it was. It also helped us understand for us that we do need to let this show have a full run. If you don't put it up, you somehow might go, oh, just trash it, right? You're like, forget it. Because it's a very depressing thing to never even see it. But to have seen it and see some people have such a wonderful response and love it so much, you go, oh, good. Well, you know what? We're not going to let this just die without more people having to get to have the experience.
Yeah.
Right. We're in the pleasure business, not the tease business. So,
right.
Come one, come all.
Are you willing to tell our audiences what you're working on these days? I don't even know. So I don't know what you're doing.
Well, again, what was so bold about Kim's recruitment was that I had been working in television, indeed, doing fairly well, but working in documentaries. And I'm actually working with the actor Matthew Modine on an ocean conservation project, pitching a true crime series about con artists in Orange County, and a incredible limited series called The Last Cosmonaut about 𝗘𝗽𝗶𝘀𝗀 𝗃𝗃, who went up into the Mir station during the collapse of the Soviet Union and had no home to come home to. They let him linger up there, orbiting the Earth for over 300 days. It's an incredible story. And that's been my draw, is just good storytelling. And that's the thing that you guys do so well across the board. I wished I lived in Houston just so I could amble over there and see any of these productions.
Well,
of course. But yeah, it's my draw, so I'm just still at it. But I'm eager to get back and do more stage work, definitely.
Yeah, man.
Anyone.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you have fascinating projects though to work on. I envy you that. That's great. Wonderful to hear.
Yeah, I'm glad you're working. You should be. You're so talented and so kind. And so giving, and you need to be working with people and artists.
And a great collaborator.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Alanna. You're out there, Alanna. Alanna and I worked together. She was magnificent. I cannot wait to see that production. I'll fly in for that one, definitely.
Yeah, that will be fun. Yeah, I would love you to come out. And you're always welcome in our home. So remember that,
Cool.
you know.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for supporting Fourth Wall and tuning into this. Good to see you
Yeah.
guys again.
And
Yeah.
Bill, we'll let you go now if you want, but thank you so,
I have to take
so-
overdrive.
Thank you
Yes.
so much, man.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you guys. Good to
And
see
I'll
you.
be in touch. I'll keep in touch. You know, I'll let you know what's going on, and we'll keep you, you know, informed about everything. And I'll certainly reach out just to talk now and again because I love you and I'm glad you did all this for us.
Love you guys too. Thanks so
Okay.
much. All right. Bye
Thanks.
now.
Bye, Bill.
Bye, Bill.
Great. So very exciting.
That is our Tune It Up to 11. Thank you, Holly
Yes.
Clark season.
So let's tell them when Riverside starts, and why doesn't Catherine spin through some of those production photos so people can get a little look
Yeah, and
at
they'll
what
be
they
on-
missed and they're going to get to see.
Well, yeah, yeah, there. So let's
tell you
this
who
is
these people
Byron
are.
Jackett, Brianna Reza, and Kim Tobin-Lehl, co-artistic director of Fourth Wall Theater Company. These are production photos from Between Riverside and Crazy. There's Byron again, Joe Palmore, Joe P, as Pops' son, and that's Juan Sebastian Cruz. Yeah, and here's Byron again with Pam
Pammy,
Vogel
Pam
as the
Vogel.
church lady.
And there's
Byron
And
duking
Philip
it out
Lehl.
with some old guy named Philip Lehl. Oh yeah.
Is that it?
God,
Is
that was
that the?
fun. That
Yep.
play.
There's our set. There's the
that
beautiful
play
set.
is so much fun to do.
It's
Thank you,
really
Stephen
good.
Athergergis.
Yes.
We only do plays by playwrights whose names are impossible to tell how you pronounce them on the page.
There you go. Or that we can mispronounce and have to correct ourselves
Pretty
later.
sure that it's Gergis and Hnath.
Yeah.
So let's write a song. Gergis and Hnath. Hnath and Gergis. All right. So dates for Between Riverside and Crazy are Thursday, May 12th through Saturday, June 4th. So
There we go.
I don't think we have anything else
No.
to say tonight. We're really glad you came to
Yeah.
watch us, and we're really excited about this season. We're so hopeful that it goes off the way we've planned it and told you about it tonight. We ask your patience if it doesn't, but
We feel good.
we feel good.
We
Yeah.
do. We're really excited. We know that the tickets will be on sale soon. So keep your eyes out for Facebook posts or emails, all kinds of information about everything that's continuing to go on and how we're moving forward. And if you have questions, you can always contact our office, call the office, send emails. We just love to hear from you. We'd
Yeah.
love to
And
help you out.
by
with
the way,
anything.
just real quickly, it's not part of our official season, but don't forget that if you're in town in July, late July, the 20th through the 26th or something like that,
Yeah.
that week, come see As You Like It, directed by me. It's our Summer Shakes program, and the play will be performed by 2 current Juilliard students, Erin Goner and Ariana Stuckey, and 12 high school
Houston High School.
Houston high
students.
school students whose names I
Yeah.
don't know off the top of my head yet, or I'd
Right.
say them all right now.
Yeah, that's going to be really great. I'm excited to see that. Yeah,
Me too.
I think it's going to be fun. All right, so we are so grateful for all of you. Thank you for joining us.
We're
We will.
grateful for Catherine Dunaway, who keeps us on our
Yes.
toes and keeps us honest and helps us be smart.
Yes, and also please keep an eye out for what's the future for Beyond the Fourth Wall, and we will let you know what's going to happen. All right, we're very excited about our next season. Good night, everybody. Thank you for always joining us. We love you, and we're so grateful. And we'll see you next season at the Fourth Wall. Bye-bye, everyone. Good night.
Beyond the Fourth Wall is produced by Fourth Wall Theater Company, Houston's home for extraordinary performances up close. Each guest is paid for their appearance on this series, in accordance with our mission to pay artists a living wage. Follow the links in the video description to support Fourth Wall with a tax-deductible gift or to subscribe to our upcoming season.